Hello, hello, hello. My name's Draft, and to celebrate the 3-year anniversary of my debut EP, which came out on Mousetrap called Left Behind, I let you guys ask me some questions. Now, it was initially meant to be about the EP, then it kind of revolved into an Ask Me Anything, and then it got a little debauched, but we won't go there. So let's just dive right in. So I've got a load of questions, but we'll get through them. Aris, you seem to do a great job balancing music for fun, music for work, music for creativity, and then your actual full-time career outside of music. Can you talk a little about that? How was that journey like for you, and what perspectives can you offer the new producer who's out there need to go all in? Music is my full-time job. I'm kind of sitting here making noises 24/7. I did see it going that way, and I'm chuffed with it. The grammar on these are awful. Next question is from Andy Blacksock, who asks, you ever think about doing any remixes? Been a fan for so long and never heard any. And he's finished it with that emoji, which I think is a shocked one. Yes, I have done remixes. I've done quite a few. They're available. Just search. Next, we've got Proxy URL. It's okay if you don't want to talk about it, but what happened between you and Mousetrap? Yeah, we ain't talking about it. Next question is from Synthetic Future, who says, golden tip for breaking free from Loopland? Don't get locked in the first place. Next question is from Zillastorm, who asks, how long did each track to create and which is your favourite? A question about the EP. Far too long for each. One of the tracks called To Oblivion was initially called Carve, and I think went up to the 38th version. And my favourite is probably that track or Deliverance, because they represent the more aggressive side of me, which is slowly etching its way out. The next question is from someone called Leather87, which sounds like a terrible name. And he says, do you like dogs? I tell you, yeah, yeah. Next question is from Luca S. Alive. Lucas Alive. I wish you changed more to commercial. Art isn't expression only, it's people connection too. I mean, you have great quality and maybe you're making it for yourself and not for all to enjoy it. It's a bit deep. John TD1, at what age did you start in music? When I was really, really young, I learned guitar through my old man. Music Speaks asks, was it a long, gradual process finding your own unique sound? Yes and no. I was raised on a variety of musicians and bands. Which I'd like to think all factored in when adapting and trying to develop my own style. Ricky asks, how's Finn? Ask him yourself. Chentorsky asks, do you have any specific goal in the recent state of electronic music industry as an artist? There's some poor grammar on these questions. Yes, I just want to continue to write what I want to write, and I'm very thankful that people like yourself continue to listen and support it. Grayson Herman, or Herman Grayson, I think it is, asks, how easy is it to change a mood from creating upbeat angst that's a kicker to create more of a calm, somber EP such as your latest, Grimy Scraps, out now? Did you decide after your first EP that you wanted to do more, or was it a slow, gradual realization? No, I've always wanted to do the upbeat angst stuff, and the forthcoming album is going to be purely that. With Mousetrap, I just didn't have the platform to do more or do as much as I wanted, which wasn't a bad thing because I knew what I was getting into. But I was able to sprinkle it with To Oblivion, Deliverance, Steamroller. Tracks like that, I was able to actually convey a bit more of that and test the water, as it were. Proxy URL, as I palmed you off earlier. What was the hardest part about making the EP? Hardest part was probably getting it finished. When you're releasing on Mousetrap, you're on par with an elite few artists who have achieved that. Now, you obviously have to match that standard and attain that level, but you also have that inkling of doubt in the back of your mind whether or not things are good enough. So you're constantly tweaking. So the hardest part was essentially just finishing it and knowing when enough was enough. Hussam Zukhaibi, and apologies if I've got that correct, did this release signify something or send you in a direction you might not have travelled through otherwise? It did signify something because I released on Mousetrap, which is obviously associated with deadmau5 and so many other elite level producers and artists. And I think it did send me down a direction that I probably wouldn't have travelled through otherwise, purely through the association and the recognition of doing so. Good question. Jack Mountney. Hello, Jack. What musicians, artists most inspire the music that you create? Electronically, too many to name. In terms of the songwriting, writing core, strong songs in a sole purpose, people like Eddie Vedder, Noel Gallagher, Fleetwood Mac, the people who actually pick up the guitars and start primarily on that, because that's where the music's focused, as opposed to starting on a drum track or something like that. Focus on Elling. Why did you want to release on Mousetrap and how did you get there? I wanted to because at the time it was seen as the pinnacle of electronic music. And how did I get there? Through a lot of hard work. Connor Madigan, who sent me a beautiful piano piece the other day. With the music industry being notorious for its hit or miss success rate, what was it that solidified your confidence in becoming a musician? The fan base, without question. 100% all day, every day. Those are the people who interact, who purchase, who download, who stream, just support in every way, shape, form possible, because they're a fan of your music and you have a connection. You're connected through a shared passion of something. And that solidified my confidence in becoming a musician because it allowed me to think that I always have someone out there who would appreciate and support my music, which means the f***ing world to me. Final question is from Silhouette with a small I, who says, your sound seems to slightly change on each of your EPs since your first one. Why is that? Do you find a new sound you want to experiment with each time? Not so much that I find a new sound that I want to experiment with, although that could factor in a bit. It's more the fact that I want to push myself, push my boundaries and my limits every time. I want fans to listen to a new release and be blown away and not be able to compare it to anything I've done before, but still maintain and draw upon those factors that make the draft sound so unique in itself. And that's the Q&A done. So big thank you to everyone who asked a question. For those who didn't, it was either a shite question or it was just too rude. We'll do this again sometime. Thank you.